Welcome into another exciting episode of The Scene. I'm your host, Bubba Startz, and with me today from Smart Choice Entertainment, my brother, Dan Smith. Dan, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Well, I appreciate you taking a little time out of your busy touring schedule. Your band, Bound and Determined, just getting back from Nashville recently. Some great stuff going on there. But we're really here to talk today about what you're doing with Smart Choice Entertainment, namely the Ag City Music Festival coming up here soon. We'll throw up that banner June 19th and 20th, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's going to be a blast, man. And you've got a lot of your artists from your company that are on there. But before we get into all that and talking to, just want to get a little bit of your backstory, and I'll let people get to know you a little bit.
Well, I started out, I guess, when I was about 19 years old, just picking up the guitar. And roughly 8 years ago, I had a guy I went to high school with approach me about getting out and playing some acoustic duo type stuff. And that just kind of developed into, putting a full band together, Bound and Determined. And, in doing so, just kind of, contacting venues about booking, my particular band. Well, we kind of book up about 6 months to a year in advance. And so I'd get phone calls from venues wanting to book us. And, if we were already booked, I started trying to help some of the other artists that I knew pick up some gigs, get in those venues, and that just kind of evolved into developing Smart Choice Entertainment. We have gone from just kind of helping some other artists, fill some slots to actually where we're at now, where we're a full festival design and management company. We're doing festivals, providing production, stage light, sound. We can do food trucks and vendors, kids zones with bounce houses and face painters and all that kind of stuff. So kind of a one-stop shop for fairs and festivals and concerts. And, we're just having fun doing it, man.
Yeah, and I feel like not a ton of musicians kind of fall into that, but your background as a successful business owner and all of those skills bringing from that side kind of laid you perfectly in this position to be a little bit of that business mind behind the artist and now behind these incredible festivals like Ag City Music Festival happening in June.
Yeah, absolutely. I've owned a security company for 21 years, and I've taken the lumps, the OJT, on the job trading. My background is sales and marketing, and that's I think one of the things that's allowed the success of not only my personal band but the business as a whole. It's one of the things that I'm really trying to help young artists that are trying to get from their practice rooms to a local stage and then growing to the fairs and festivals and corporate gigs level. And, there's a lot of really, really good talent out there that nobody's ever heard of. And I've asked myself why. And it just boils down to having that sales ability to be told no a bunch of times and keep going. And, ultimately it's all a numbers game. The more people that we contact and talk to and the networks that we create, that's actually what catapults people to those bigger and better stages. So just trying to do my part to try to help out other artists, man.
I think a lot of people would look at the success of Bound and Determined, and I know that you've won Kansas City's best, cover band and a lot of awards over the past several years, and they just see those, and it's like, man, all he does is hit home runs, right? And they don't see the time in the batting cage, if you will, to keep the baseball references going, the swings and misses, the 100 unanswered emails that you got when you were reaching out early, and all the success that you're having now is really attributed to the 6 prior years that it was reaching out and being told, well, you guys just aren't right now. You just aren't right. And then as you continue to raise the profile of the band, all of a sudden you're not having to make the phone calls. People are calling you, which just kind of turned into the natural evolution of Smart Choice Entertainment. And, a lot of your success is attributed to things that nobody would ever see.
Well, that's it. I mean, no matter how we look at it, it's all a grind, and being able to keep your head down, stay focused, stay motivated. Don't take the negatives to heart. You know, the thing about music is there's so many different genres because people have what they like. And maybe we don't check all the boxes, but we do check a lot of the boxes. And it's just important to make sure you're putting out a good product, a good service, and making sure you're staying professional and deliver on what you say. Have some integrity, be a man of your word, and treat people with respect. And I think with all of that, if you can focus on those things, it all just kind of lines up. And you got to be willing to work hard. They might see us on stage for 3 hours, but they don't see the 8 hours leading up to it, and the drive time, and all the time in rehearsal, and all those different types of things. And I don't think I've ever been a part of an industry that has so many variables that have to line up for success. And it just comes down to being willing to work hard and not give up.
Well, and speaking of things lining up, you guys just got back from a big trip down to Nashville. You were part of a showcase at Tootsie's, the world famous Tootsie's. Talk a little bit about that experience, and then what kind of came from that moment and now leading into hopefully a lot more trips back to Music City.
Well, it was, we were invited down, again, the networking aspect of it. We were invited down by a label. And they have this process if you want to be a musician in downtown Nashville. You go to Tootsie's, you do this little showcase. If they like you, they invite you to Monday at Kid Rock's to where you can actually get up and play 2 or 3 songs for industry professionals. Actually, the gentleman that was kind of heading that up used to be Garth Brooks's bass player. And has worked with a lot of other A-list artists. And so you go up there, it's all industry people and other musicians. You do your thing. And, fortunately for us, we were told that, there's not a lot of bands that come to Nashville and do what we did. And they're looking at bringing us down, having us play a few shows on Broadway. And they're talking some bigger and better things after that, as long as people, like what we do. So it was a great experience. I'd recommend it to anybody that's trying to, make Nashville home and kind of continue to climb the ladder.
Yeah, and having been in Kid Rock's big ass honky tonk while I was there back in last November, you guys are such a perfect fit for that main stage and what they're trying to bring on that. Knowing a little bit about your band and your set list, they're really riding that line between rock and country. It's not like Robert's Western World, where you're getting very traditional country music, country and Western music up there. It is very much what I would say the newer kind of country genre, right? A lot more rock and roll influences. You're going to hear a lot of rock and roll covers while you're in there as well. It's crazy for people who haven't been to Nashville recently to really understand what the scene is like down there. It seems like all the bars are at least 3 stories tall and maybe a rooftop as well. When it's rocking and rolling, it's a band on every level, and you kind of start from the top and work your way down, right? Newer bands getting an opportunity to start in some of the 3rd story bars in the middle of the day when there's really not much of a crowd, depending on the day of the week. And you eventually kind of grind it out to that. Or you can do what you guys have done and grow a name for yourself where you're at. Raise the profile of your band first, and then go to Nashville or get invited to take part in some of those things. But you don't have to go and necessarily kind of slave it out playing for tips on the rooftop bar starting out to be able to get those opportunities. There's different ways. And I think what Bound and Determined has done is a great example of how to grow at home, that you are ready for those bigger opportunities in some of the, music centers of the world.
Yeah, I would say that anybody that has the want to go to Nashville, I mean, let's face it, it's the mecca of music, and especially country music. But you kind of hit the nail on the head. What they're looking for, they have this big list of the most played cover songs in downtown Nashville. When they sent it to us, I went, oh, well, like we're already doing 75% of the songs on the list. So, as an artist and a musician, sometimes we play songs that, we've played 1,000 times, and we could really care less whether we play them again or not, but it's not about us. It's about the fans. As it was explained to us down there, you never know what song was maybe your dad's favorite song or your grandpa's favorite song. So, when you're standing in that crowd at Nashville and somebody plays that song, it takes that fan back to something that really truly means something to them. And, so that's what I tell the band all the time. I'm like, it's not about us, guys. It's about putting smiles on the faces of the people in the crowd, making them happy, making them feel something. So it's important that every song, every time, we have to do the best job that we can to make sure that, those people are having a good time. So very important.
I think that's something that gets lost on a lot of artists who are songwriters and really want to be known for their original music, which is fine. And I'm guilty of this myself, that I want to play the things that I want to, but I've always been very cognizant of the fact that, like, you have to be able to bring that crowd in. And it's funny, when I was in Nashville and I was at Kid Rock's place, I started on the 3rd floor. We were at a private event for a racing outfit, and they started, they played a medley. As I'm going down, 3 different bands were playing 3 different songs that I play in a medley for me. I think it was like, started with Fishing in the Dark up top, then I heard What I Got, and then I heard The Joker mixed with the Shaggy song Angel, when they redid that one, right? And like, I'm walking down, I can't help grinning, where I'm like, my band and my show would do okay in Nashville, right? Like, I'm on the right track to do that, but I didn't necessarily have to move there to figure that out, right? I didn't have to go there and pay 7 times more in rent than I do at my mortgage in South Dakota to go down there and figure it out. And if I wanted to, I feel like there's an avenue for my band or other bands that want to go to Nashville and to get some time there. Because like you said, they're looking for some fresh meat and to go through these cycles. And yes, these residencies are fine, but all the bands that are playing in Nashville are trying to get out of Nashville and out on the road. So it's this weird dichotomy that we're in. Like, all the bands on the outside are trying to get in, and the bands on the inside are trying to get out. And I feel like guys like you and I, who have really great connections and out here in the Midwest, especially, to some good paying gigs that can actually help bands, maybe not booking an entire tour for someone, but maybe 2 or 3 dates throughout our respective states or regions to keep them on the road and maybe keep them floating along. And I feel like that's why, you and I get together so well, is that we're both not only capable of doing it, but extremely willing to do that, both with the Scene Projects and Smart Choice Entertainment.
Absolutely. It's, it really is all about the grind. You kind of touched on, original artists, and, we have spent, we've had some change in the band, but we spent, a good portion of this winter writing some original music, which has been absolutely a blast. And, things are going well there, but, the average listener, they have their favorites, and, we've got to make sure we're playing those. And, you take your A-list artists out there that are on tour. Yeah, they're playing their songs, but they usually pepper in some of the covers as well. So it's important that, we're playing a little bit of everything. And yeah, we want to get our original music out there, but, I've been predominantly in a cover band my whole career. And, that's what people are, we're live jukeboxes basically. And, because, we're not asking people to throw, I don't know, it's a little different nowadays, but the old way was throw a quarter in the jukebox and play a song, or $1 bill and play 3 songs. And, so our tip bucket is the coin slot basically, and we just keep on rocking.
Yeah, and having heard some of the demos, I guess you would say, of some of the Bound and Determined originals that are going to be coming out, I'm really excited about this next phase of your band in particular. And it's exciting. And no matter what age you are, I would consider us both kind of OGs of the scene at this point. And, I've been doing this since I was a teenager, playing in bands and on stage and all kinds of different size venues, from, festivals and amphitheaters to those bar gigs where there might be 12 people in the crowd, right? And I get so much gratification still playing music. I don't see myself ever stopping, and I'm kind of riding a different wave now, growing our platform here, no different than Smart Choice, and the festivals that you're doing may overtake sometimes what you're doing with the band, and we finding that rhythm. Right. Obviously, the summertime is the busy time for getting out and playing music, as more venues are available because you have these outdoor stages and festivals going on. And then when you come back, the wintertime is a great time to really hone in with the band, writing new material. And I think that the future of both Bound and Determined and Smart Choice are incredibly bright, and glad to be here for it. Dan, I would love to kind of touch a little bit more on the Ag City Music Festival going on June 19th and 20th this year. You guys are celebrating America's 250th a little bit before the 4th. I know you have Friends in Service of Heroes, our friend Paul Chapa and his organization, Fish for Short, involved as well. So tell us a little bit more about the festival and what people can expect.
Man, we've got, it's Father's Day weekend. So one of the things that we really wanted to do is we wanted to make sure that it's family friendly. We're touching on the 250th birthday of the country, doing some donations to a wonderful charity. But we've got, on Friday, we've got two great tribute bands. We've got a Molly Hatchet tribute band, Flirting with Molly, and then Edge of Forever, who is a Leonard Skinner tribute band. Then on Saturday, we're doing a tractor pull early in the morning. About 1 o'clock, we're going to have an all-veteran skydiving team drop in with the American flag. Damian Gunn, who's the first on stage, is going to sing the national anthem for us. Damian's a great artist, been touring the country. Savannah Chestnut, who was on The Voice. My band, Bound and Determined's playing. Noe Palma, who's a Nashville recording artist, got videos on CMT and all that kind of stuff. And then headlining the show, we've got Tate Stevens. Tate won the X Factor season 2 back in 2012. And so a lot of local homegrown talent this year. And, we're going to have a little side stage as the main stage switches over. We've got Michael Pierce, Josh Collins, and Jillian Risco will be doing solo acoustic sets while that's happening. So just, it's going to be an awesome time, family friendly. The kids' fun zone's going to have, 10 or 12 bounce houses, face painters, fire breathers, foam pits, dunk tank, all kinds of stuff for the kids. And we're just looking forward to celebrating. We're donating $5 from every ticket sold to Friends in Service of Heroes. For people out there that are prayer warriors, please give Paul and his family prayers. He just lost his dad a few days ago. I have talked to him. He's doing okay. But I lost my dad a couple years ago, so I know what he's going through, and love Paul to death, and what him and his organization are doing for veterans is just off the charts. So we appreciate, having them involved, and it's just going to be an awesome weekend, man. We're praying for good weather and just great music and family fun.
Yeah, sounds like a heck of a time, Dan, and I may have to rearrange some of my travel plans to try to see if I can get down there. It's going to be a great time, and we're really appreciative of you, this monumental task that you've taken on. And I know you've got a great team around you that are helping to bring this all to fruition, but it's incredible. And I really look forward to the future of not just Ag City, but a lot of other events that you're putting together as well. This is in many ways just the start for what Smart Choice is kind of evolving into, and really happy not just to know you, but to call you a friend and a brother, and can't wait to continue working together for many years to come.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, we're actually working on another one. It's called the Horsepower Music Festival. That'll be going on in September down at the Ozarks International Raceway at Lake of the Ozarks. Recently met with Lucas Oil Speedway. They're wanting to do some, an event there at their place. And, so we're definitely moving in that direction of, bigger and better, and just continuing the growth. And I owe it to my team. Without them, I'd never be able to do some of the things that I'm doing. By the way, I've already cleared. You've got a press pass waiting on you for the Ag City Festival. So if you can get down here, we'd love to have you here, brother.
Well, I would appreciate that, man. Bring the cameras and do interviews with all of our artists and capturing that moment so we can promote it all for next year. I think it's going to be an incredible time. So, Dan, appreciate you. Everyone can go to smartchoiceent.com for more information on the festival and on Smart Choice. If you're an artist or an entertainer, I highly suggest that you connect with Dan. You never know when a gig might float down the river that might be a perfect fit for you guys. So you've been a blessing to me. I have you to thank for the first gig I ever played in Missouri. And I just really appreciate everything that you're doing for artists and for communities as well. I think it's really awesome. And obviously our veterans are so important to us. Big prayers to Paul Ciappa and his family, an incredible human being. And our hearts are with him and his family at this time as well. Dan Smith, thank you for taking some time for me today. And thank you for being part of the scene.
Well, thank you, brother. And we have another website. It's www.agcitymusicfestival.com. That's where we can get all the information for the Ag City, purchase tickets, all that kind of stuff. And man, thank you for what you're doing. Helping another platform for us musicians and industry people to get the word out. So thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you.